A 30-second note. Crypto bears and manipulators trying to shake the weak hands, looking to not only destroy profits and investments, but morale, your morale. Crypto bears clawing through communities of not only savvy investors, but savvy minds, disregarding completely the world-changing technology and distracting all of the focus of decentralization with their incredibly loud and obnoxious growls. Do not be deterred. That's my 30-second note. Let's dive into the chart for Litecoin. Here we go, 179.80 and 179.08. And I really just want to talk about this falling wedge today because we have some interesting things happening. So where to start? Let me get my paintbrush and we can talk about what I see as a significant area, which is I see this 50 EMA, and I also see as it's approaching this 200 area of, this $200 Litecoin price is kind of this price that we've been teeter-tottering above and then teeter-tottering below. And as we have this 50 EMA approaching that, and as we are really looking at this falling wedge to see what we do, I see this as a very important, area of confluence. And, not only should we keep an eye on it, but we want to also keep an eye down here at the bottom of this wedge. So obviously, with these wicks, we've tested this trend line, multiple times, and that's normal. But what we want to keep an eye on is if we actually have a bar on the daily trade below this trend line and close below the trend line. And what you really want to look for, you can have a bar close a little bit below a trend line in a falling wedge. However, if it starts, kind of getting close to that 4%, that 5% range, then we might have this, failure in this continuation pattern that is the falling wedge. So we want to keep an eye on this right now to see if, are we going to test this bottom trend line? And if we do, are we going to break it? And then we might have failure in this wedge. On the flip side, if we look at this area of confluence at, the 200 with the 50 EMA, it's kind of like we need to just take steps to possibly have a breakout above and through the top trend line of the wedge, which would look like, getting through that 200 area, and not only getting through the 200 area, but finally getting back above this 50 EMA, which I talked about in a video yesterday, which is, pretty important in terms of what trend are we going to be building here, a bullish or bearish trend. So we have a few things that we're looking at we want to do, which is break the 50 EMA. We want to break the 200 area. We want to get back to the top of this falling wedge so that we can retest this trend line and hopefully see a breakout. And again, just similar to the bottom of the wedge, we really want to see if we can break out up to 5% over the wedge. And that'll be a nice sign that we might be, in the middle of this at the end of this correction, I should say. And maybe perhaps, we could have a crazy breakout. We could also just simply, form a new higher channel, which would be phenomenal. So, I wanted to keep this technical analysis short because I know I've been talking about the falling wedge a lot. However, when watching a falling wedge, one of the most important things besides, watching your indicators and watching your lines and everything is patience. Falling wedge requires patience, especially on the daily. We're looking at the daily because we're really just trying to remove that noise that's involved on the 15, the hourly. And so on the daily and looking at this, it just requires patience. So we just keep tracking it. We keep seeing what happens. We see how the continuation pattern forms and where we end up. And that's just kind of what we're going to continue doing. So thank you for watching. Thank you for coming by for today's January 24th Litecoin technical analysis. I will see you on the next video, and God bless.